Hey guys, it's the team here at Authentic Mission, and I just want to briefly do a video as a follow up to the one we just introduced today, where it's called Alternate Bible Study. And I just want to talk about a slip of the tongue that was in there. Now, I used the word marijuana in the video. Now, some of you may notice in the past I've used that word. I But after talking to a woman that I met by the name of Anne that wrote the book we read earlier, um, I'm choosing to try and learn not to use the word marijuana. Now, she gave a biblical answer or, a researched answer as to why it wasn't good and why it was slang and stuff. But and I agree with her to a point, only because I haven't read all of the research that she put together just yet. Um, but I also like to look at things just a little bit more simply. And when she said it was a slang and it was a swear against God's plan, I was like, okay, cool. Like, what do you mean by that? Explain that, because I like to learn. And when she explained it, it made sense. But I also kind of started thinking about it, and to a point, a big point, she's right. So you may hear those slip ups. I'm not going to say that I'm gonna be perfect and I'm going to just completely stop using the word marijuana. I'm going to try and I'm going to gradually do it. Eventually, it's like a learned behavior that you can just cut out. Eventually, with the help of spiritual leadings and God and stuff and just human behavior. But I like to look at it in the sense that when she said that, I started thinking back, and I'm like, okay, well, wait. I watched this documentary once on Netflix, and it was called Grass, and it's narrated by Woody Harrelson, and it talks about how in the 1930s and all of that, marijuana was legal. Like they were the army, the American army, I think probably Canadian as well, was telling farmers to grow hemp, and that's a form of God's plant. It's a form of cannabis, and then when there's a bunch of reasons that marijuana. See, I just did it again. That cannabis became illegal, and one of them is the fact that um, the the lobbyists for the lumber industry were like, well, wait, whoa, if people start using this marijuana for paper, or this weed for paper, um, then they we're not gonna need to cut down as many trees, and that's gonna cut into our profits. So, and then when you watch Grass, I encourage you to watch it. When you watch the documentary, if you can find it, watch it, because it talks about in the olden days, the Mexican people would come over here or come over to America, and they would work in the fields all day, and then they would feel like they earned a good day's labor, and they would smoke cannabis, and they would relax, and the establishment was like, well, wait a minute. We gotta stop these guys and these Mexicans. They're gonna get lazy and they're gonna, and the anti cannabis people started using the phrase marijuana. Why do you think, in retrospect, that there's two different? I don't know exactly where the difference is. I can't remember, but there's two different spellings for marijuana. Why? Because they started using that word, and they misspelt it, and they maybe the Mexicans used it. I'm not sure, but then if they let's go with the theory that they did. Let's go with the theory that they used the word marijuana. Okay. Then the establishment and the anti-cannabis people started using it as a Mexican slang and started saying these Mexicans were gonna smoke and they were gonna rape and pillage your daughters and they were gonna, no. That type of stuff happens more with alcohol than it does with cannabis. So is this gonna happen overnight for me? No, it's not. And for me to have an ego and say that it will is crazy. But I'm just saying that I have to agree with Anne that it's more or less a swear against God's plan, and it's slang to demean the Mexican people and to demean people that up until I don't know the last couple of years were labeled as drug users and bums and put in the street people, and then people that are caught up in the gang culture and the street culture, they started using the word weed because it was slang. And weed, I'm not sure yet if that's a slang or not, but marijuana, however you want to pronounce it, was used as slang against the Mexican people, and it was used to spread hate. I don't remember the names. That's why I love using this channel to say go look up grass. Go look up the documentary. Watch it. Honestly, watch it. It's one of the best ones in a while. It's older. It's hard to find. When I found it on Amazon, they wanted like $200 for it, which no offense, but no. So I went shopping around and I found it in like a hawk shop or something. But I got lucky. I can tell you that right now. So I will have to agree with Anne, and I'm gonna pledge right here right now that I'm gonna do my best to stop using the slang term. And if I slip up every now and then, please forgive me. Anne might be able to watch this video and comment on comment underneath or wherever what the Hebrew word or what the Old English word is for it. I do know in the Bible they talk about cannabasian, which maybe that's the word, but that's how I heard it pronounced on a YouTube video one day. And to me, that sounds an awful lot like cannabis. So honestly, people, really research stuff because these people were using it to demean the Mexican people and to demean God's plan. And you want to see something funny but stupid? Look up Reefer Madness. Okay, now that has got to be the worst PSA film in the world. The worst one at all. There's far more worse drugs out there, and they're not cannabis. Am I saying that it's perfect and everybody should be using it? If they can respect it and understand why it's here, yeah, go ahead. But there is people that misuse it and disrespect it and just, get drunk, get high, and they mix it with alcohol. And I don't necessarily agree with that. I had a good talk with my sister once that, she was like, well, I was more likely to do something stupid when I was drinking versus smoking. So, anyway, just think about the context of the word and when it's used. even when older people use, oh yeah, he's smoking that tobacco. That's slang. That's disrespectful. It demeans people that use it properly. It demeans the Mexican people that brought it to America. Well, not brought, you know what I mean. That really brought it to the forefront when people were trying to fight against it. And there is a lot of history. It's not just the lumber industry that came out against cannabis. It's not just Richard E. Nixon that came out against cannabis. He even buried a report from scientists that he wanted to study it. He buried it. It's been documented now. Again, watch grass. Later.